Shalom, all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rahak Kodash, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace, salutations, and blessings to the elect, pushing the word across the four corners of the earth, risking your life to do so. And the scriptures talk about war and rumors of war in the last days, which that's the time that we're in, the last days of this particular age. Right, but it's not the last days of the earth. The earth is not going to be destroyed. The scriptures say the earth, matter of fact, let's just get it. Ecclesiastes 1. And I'm going to start at verse 1. The words of the preacher, the son of David, king in Jerusalem. Talking about Solomon. Vanity of vanities, said the preacher. Vanity of vanities, all is vanity. What profit had the man of all his labor which he taketh under the sun? And you have to consider this, going to work every day. You get all these people who pour in, traffic, everybody honking at each other. I'm driving now. I didn't honk at anybody, I'm just saying for an example. All the work you do, time you put in, I need gas, I need this. It's like, what is it all for? What is it all towards? What is the goal? But you're just in a bad situation that, these Edomites did wickedness and they'll get to win in the end and you'll always lose. Are you just working nonstop just like your parents did, your grandparents did, their great-grandparents did? Seeing that all of the money and stuff that you made is lost to inflation. Right? That's what the scriptures is for, man. That's why I say if this word is not in you, a man is counted as nothing. That's why a man of the Lord, his value is going to be so great, because we understand the why. Matter of fact, we understand all things. We understand the what, the when, and the who. Let me make sure I say it correctly. All right, the where. That's important too. All right, where is going to be destroyed? Where? Now, the scriptures don't tell you everywhere the destruction is going to hit. It says from one end of the earth to the other. But we know that this place, Babylon the Great, is going to be destroyed, the mother of harlots. All right, the two biggest harlots you see here, Aholah and Aholibah, being represented in the scriptures, is the so-called Northern and Southern Kingdom, the so-called blacks, Latino, and Native American people. Those are the two. When you look on TikTok and all the Instagram, those are the two biggest whores. All right, on the physical level. But then on the spiritual level, whoredoms as well. You people are still going to celebrate Easter. You're still not going to take heed to what the scriptures say. What was the point of the Lord dying? What was the point? Okay, but verse 4, Ecclesiastes 1 and 4. One generation passeth away, and another generation cometh, but the earth abideth forever. All right, forever. As the Lord gave Solomon that. It's always going to be here. The sun also ariseth, and the sun goeth down, and hasteth to his place where he arose. The wind goeth towards the south, and turneth about unto the north. It whirleth about continually, and the wind returneth again according to his circuits. The earth is under a circuit, man. Everything is under a circuit under the Lord. Right? It's certain. Every year, we talk about this wind, that wind. I'm in Chicago, so the wind comes off the lake. It's a certain wind, which it was during the first month, it brings the birds in. And they all fly in. Yeah, we got parrots, we got all kind of shit. There's a scripture that say that the stork the birds know their path. They say all the rivers run into the sea, yet the sea is not full. Unto the place from whence the rivers come, thither they return again. Man, All right, everything is in the Lord's plan. All things are full of labor. Man cannot utter it. The eye is not satisfied with seeing, nor the ear filled with hearing. The thing that have been, it is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done, and there is no new thing under the sun. All right, but you get the point, man. Everything done is being redone. Esau is still a murderer. All right, the northern kingdom and southern kingdom are still rebellious. But now is the time for certain things to happen. All right, certain characteristics stay the same, but certain characteristics have changed. All right, the elect is going to be sealed away. So man is not going to be wicked anymore. Well, the nation of Israel, which would be one nation. This is Psalms 125:1. It says, "They a song of degrees. They that trust in the Lord shall not be as Mount Zion, which cannot be removed, but abideth forever. As the mountains are round about Jerusalem, so the Lord is round about his people from henceforth, even forever. For the rod of the wicked shall not rest upon the lot of the righteous, lest the righteous put forth their hands unto iniquity." Exactly. But the point is in verse 1, they that trust in the Lord shall not be moved. It says, shall be as Mount Zion, which cannot be removed, but abideth forever. So knowing these, you know that we can never be destroyed, but a certain number of our nation will be destroyed. That's why you have to know this word. He said, "I am not a man, and I shall lie." So nothing in here he promised the prophets is a lie. You know, you look at Esau, you look at his media, AI, all this shit. You look at it automatically with the assumption of this guy's full of shit. This is bullshit. This guy is trolling. This is a scam. You know, somebody got something too good to be true. And this you looking at it closely and shit. What's the gimmick? What's the catch? All right, I'm just looking at all these news, BRICS news, which you have to double check this too. All right, but one thing it says, Iran warns the U.S. and Israel that the entire region will become hell for them if the escalation continues. All right, another thing I saw, Russia evacuates more staff from Iran's Bushehr nuclear power plants. Which I'm like, how do they know that? But I guess, you know, it was made known. But this is why the scriptures say there'll be a guard unto them. All right, Gog and Magog should be a guard unto them. Russia's going to be a guard unto them. All right, Job 20:23. It said, "When he is about to fill his belly, the Most High shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him, and shall rain it upon him while he is eating. He shall flee from the iron weapon, and the bow of steel shall strike him through." All right, these missiles. Now, certain elites are going to escape, what the scriptures say, though they dig in the hell, though they go into the bunkers and go into whatever system they have up in space that they're setting up, all right, or whatever the underwater facility they have. "It is drawn and cometh out of the body, yea, the glittering sword cometh out of his gall. Terrors are upon him. All darkness shall be hid in his secret places. A fire not blown shall consume him. It shall go ill with him that is left in his tabernacle." Yeah, it's a fire not blown. This is not like a, you know, you have a fireplace and then you have like the thing, you know, it's it blows the fire. I forget the name of it, but you know, you crank it up and down, and it kindles that flame. No, this is a nuclear fire. So yeah, that region is going to become hell because they keep shooting missiles over there. They're going to hit the wrong thing. Boom. And Russia, knowing that this is a key place for us, they're going to have to say, hold up, all right. But then, you know, the U.S. is going to be like, "No, what you mean, hold up?" They're going to be like, "Well, shit, it's just looking at the leverage of the situation." Shit, Europe is getting power off of us. We could cut the lights off on all your allies. So let's chill out with all this. Well, now we coming to that point, and Trump is dumb enough to do some shit like that. He's bold. The scriptures say, "Go not with a bold fellow," somebody who just keep going. They don't know when to stop, when to contain themselves. Well, that's Trump. All right, perfect man for the job. This is why fire is prophesied so much, and when it talks about destruction, see, this is that age we're seeing. All right, we always bring that scripture out. This battle shall not be a one with garments rolled in blood, but a fuel of fire. All right, that's why it's prophesied in multiple places in the scriptures. Sirach, 36 and 6, show new signs and make other strange wonders, which that's what the scriptures talk about, signs and wonders in the heavens and all through the earth. Glorify your hand and your right arm, that's Yahweh Shai, that they may set forth your wondrous works, Yahweh Shai, the heavenly hosts. Raise up indignation, pour out wrath, take away the adversary, and destroy the enemy. Yeah, we have enemies. Sake the time short. Remember the cover. Yeah, sake the time short. The time is very short. That's why the scriptures say that. Remember the time. But then it say, run the race patiently. Run patiently. And let them declare your wonderful works. Let them that escape be consumed by the rage of the fire. Let them perish that oppress the people. Yeah, let them be destroyed. There's going to be no escape for these people. None. Let them perish that oppress the people. Striking sunder the heads of the rulers of the heathen that say there is none other but we. All these things are being done. Gather all the tribes of Jacob together, inherit you them as from the beginning. Though I was the last to wake up, yet I received their inheritance as from the beginning. Hey, whenever you wake up, shit, that's when you wake up. That's when the Lord wakes you up. But if you're of the elect, you're going to inherit all things as from the beginning. All right? So just a quick hit. All praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. We don't have to know everything, but if you know this word, you know more than everybody else anyway. And shalom to the elect.